Hello, I'm Stone Oak Valley and welcome to the series of Unpacking My Treasures. So we're going to go through 27 or so boxes I have collected since 1981. And my journey started with collecting the term they use today is retro computers. So that will be TV game consoles and computers. But also all the accessories like joystick, pads, books and games and software and cables and everything related. And the first item I got, I was 7 or 8 years old, so this was 1981. I'm born in 74, and this year in the summer of June I was 51 years old, and today it's August, at the end of August. And my journey started with the interest of computers and pixel graphics. It just blew my mind when I saw it on a CRT TV back in the day. It was my sister who got it, and I had never seen anything graphics on the screen before. So I was like, whoa, what is this crap? I wouldn't call it crap, of course, but it was, it was cool crap. Let's put it that way. And that machine actually survived in my mother's house, or my parents' house, of course, for many decades. And I picked it out a couple of years ago, well, maybe 15 years ago, and it was still working. And I did some modification to it and stuff like this. But my collection habit started, I guess, in 2003. That's when I felt like I wanted to go back to the Commodore 64 days, because I got my Commodore 64 in 1987, followed by Amiga 500 in 1989, and I got my Amiga 1200 in 93, and the last machine I bought was an Amiga CD32. And then in 96 I started with PC and kind of got busy with that until the beginning of the 2000. So maybe around 2002, 3 or something, I felt like I had to go back to the Commodore area because I wasn't finished with it. So I tried to collect whatever I could find in the house. I sold everything basically in 98. So the Amiga, the books and the games, and everything was gone. I only had a backup of the hard drive and a broken Amiga 500. And also I had the Atari 2600 still, and we only had 3 games. But anyway, this is my original item, and that's where the collection kind of, I guess, started from, without being named a collection. It was just some cool things we had in the house. And since 2003 and all the way up to 2025, I bought random items that fit my budget, or it would be specific items that I wanted to upgrade the Commodore 64 with a SD card reader and stuff like this, maybe USB devices to connect to all kinds of TV game consoles like PlayStation or Nintendo and everything. And I started buying most of my retro collection, 2006, and maybe for 10 years. Then I kind of slowed down because that is when everybody else in the world wanted to get in onto the retro action. So yeah, throughout all these years I have accumulated about 27 of this kind of boxes. It's not the biggest box, it's like a moving box. And this one is for Amiga CD32. So I have 27 boxes. I try to group everything together, but sometimes there's too much stuff in one box, so it overflows to the next box. But the reason why I want to document this is because I never wrote down anything back in the day, so I have trouble figuring out when I bought my Amiga, my Commodore 64. I can't figure out the year. And also the Atari must have been 1981, but I have to look at old photos and notes and school books and try to wiggle my memory. It's so hard after so many years to find details about this. And I talked unpacking these boxes would be kind of like a nice documentation for myself, but also for other people who like to watch unpacking boxes with random items in them. And this will be follow up later on this year, I hope, with maybe 21 episodes, where I will go through the first week or the first day of the Atari. I'll go through my first month, maybe with Amiga 500, and I will try to recreate the everything I did, basically. And these series will be called Time Pod, so that will arrive after all these unboxing videos. Maybe in 2025, I don't know, because I'm also refurbishing the house, and finally I can make my own area in the basement where I can display stuff and kind of make my own museum. So this is like the beginning of the journey. I will show a little movie of the basement situation straight after this, and I will also put on some photos while I'm talking here. And yeah, I just want to document stuff properly this time, because you know, these memories will fade away eventually if you don't keep them like active. And I didn't keep the Atari 2006 memory active. I jumped into the memory maybe in 2003, and then maybe I jumped into the memory in 2017. But it's getting ridiculously hard to remember 44 years actually. It's difficult. We didn't have a lot of cameras back then, so you know, no video footage. We had these cameras with reels in them, so we had to develop the film, and of course this cost money, so we didn't, you know, take 100 pictures every day. So I will look through some albums and see if I can point the date on either the Commodore 64 or the Atari. Maybe it's in the background of a photo somewhere, who knows. I will reveal that in some other episodes, but yeah, I don't think I need to explain anything more. I will explain probably more when I go through the box, so let's just jump into the first box and hope you liked it. Welcome to a short update for my room in the basement, where I'm gonna put all my old computers and VHS tapes and everything from my childhood, TV game consoles, 80s electronics. And I'm just gonna go through very quickly the situation in the basement. So this would be the entry or the hallway to the beginning of the room. So I will walk in here, and there will be a wall and a door, and there will also be like a hallway going down this part, and then there's going to be a wall right here and a door, and this room will be for other family members. There will be a stairs coming down there from the living room. And about 4 or 5 years ago, I had some people doing all the work here, so all the carpenter, they put in new windows, put in the skeleton for, you know, all the walls, and fixed the floor, put in isolation. And currently I use this room as my, my material storage while I'm doing refurbishment elsewhere in the house, currently in the living room. So it's very compact and a lot of stuff ready to be used later. So there's like plates and tools and stuff over there. And of course most of my videos the past year was filmed in this location. You may remember this background. Anyway, we're gonna enter what is to become my little room. It will be shaped like a J room, so I think there's like 8 meters here, and then I guess 3 or 4 before we hit a wall. It's very difficult to see the size of the room, but it's gonna go in the back here like a J. So for now, this is where the web server for all the authentic music I recorded for Commodore 64 and Amiga. That will be the SOASC and SOAMC, so all the MP3 files and FLAC files and databases stored on this computer. This water tank and all these pipes will be cleaned up by some people in a couple of weeks' time, because I'm not going to have a water tank in my retro basement. And of course there is so much stuff that belongs elsewhere in the house, but also some of this will be part of this area, of course. There's old MS-DOS 6.22 PC, for instance, and there's an LCD TV. And on the corner here, there's like so many boxes filled with VHS tapes from the 80s and 90s, and some from the 2000s. We're gonna take a look at all the boxes I have that we're gonna unpack in this videos. This is a 24-26 inch CRT TV, so that's cool to have around. And this is where I filmed some of my recent videos. The hunt for Amiga CD32 was filmed mostly here, capturing on this PC. Currently I'm preparing not only the unpacking videos, which this is the introduction for, but I'm also gonna go back in time and start from 1981, and this episode will be called Time Pod, where I will focus on you know, groups of console or groups of computers and stuff like this. It will kind of match the boxes that I have. And behind this curtain there is a bunch of LCD screens and also some Commodore equipment and some other CRT computer monitors. I'm not sure how many. And these are the boxes that we're gonna unpack one by one. And it's really tight in here, so it's difficult to get the full overview, but I marked them kind of with categories and tried to group, you know, the stuff that belongs to the same category. So there will be Atari 2600 and some Atari stuff, but suddenly there's even Memotech and Commodore in there. So all of these boxes, not these pieces, that's for the Time Pod episodes, and there are boxes behind here. And there's also boxes over here. And here you can see my home-built arcade machine, which I started on in 2003. I spent about 2.5 years building it from scratch. It is a monster, and it has a lot of buttons. I will probably have to make a video of this, but right now it's completely impossible to power this thing on because I don't have space to do anything in this basement, because right now it's just a storage place. And of course there is stuff all over the place. So anyway, this will be also a part of my you know, room for collection. And this is the white cover you saw on the back side, so the stairs will be going down here. And then this room will be made into a room. It is much bigger than what you can see here, because we use it for storage. So, but anyway, I'm trying to fit everything inside, but these are the boxes that we will unpack one by one. And yeah, there's also the IBM, which I made a video about recently. So yeah, this is pretty much the status right now. You can see there's no cover on the walls. That's because I need to put wires and power and network. And I will also make some walls. And yeah, I need to make the floor, and yeah, there's a bunch of stuff, right? Alright, we're gonna open up the first box, but before I begin I will talk about my new camera setup. I had a couple of Raspberry Pis lying around for many years. They were used for XMBC and some Raspberry Pi I received to my birthday and some other stuff. And they've been lying around for ages. And I thought I could make my own recording device, a stateless recorder. And I 3D printed some parts. I put on some metal here so I can easily attach it around here. So I have one up here and then one close up over there, and then the front camera. So I made 4 of these. So I have 2 Raspberry Pi 1 and 2 Raspberry Pi 2. And I bought these cameras very cheap. I think I paid like $23 for 4 pieces. So this is the Camera 1 V1 module. Because at least I can record in Full HD like 1920 1080. And I disabled everything else. I don't use the HDMI port. That is gone. And I only use the composite for a preview screen I have, so I can see all the cameras and adjust angles and everything. And then basically it's just the power. I use an ATX power to power everything, and 8 GB memory card. And then I have a speaker, just a regular PC speaker connected to the GPIO, so that when I click these buttons it will make at least the sounds I know something is going on. But I wanted to make this as simple as possible, and yeah, it may not look simple as a wires and stuff, but the first button is just start. So I really hate these China devices where you have like multiple functions on a button and you have to click this and wait for LED to blink 2 times. I mean, it's such bad design, so I really wanted to just start, stop recording and then shut down, and that's it. There's no magic. And it auto boots straight into the preview, and I connected these GPIO pins so I can control what's going on. And then I record onto the SD card onto a FAT32. So I have 3 partitions on it. That's the boot partition, FAT32, and then the Linux or the Raspbian Pi OS Lite. And then the third is to access the actual MP4 recordings. I will upgrade this later, but yeah, just a quick little introduction for all my new camera setup. I want to try to have a very quick setup, so I made some brackets and everything. But we will start with the first box, and they are in random order, so I just pick a box, whatever it is. I will open it up and talk about it. And this one says Amiga Gamebox Floppies, and then there was some other scribblings on there. Let's just check what's inside. Alright. We will start with just a good old floppy box, and these are just empty floppies. Yeah, just a bunch of old stuff for the Amiga. But I really like to keep these boxes and display them because they look really cool in my old school collection basement, so you can take a look at that. Yeah, and here we have just an empty disk, some memory card, and this is a PCMCA card for the Amiga 1200. And then there's the yeah, this is the SD box, and this is a pretty cool device. You plug this into the parallel port, and there's a memory card inside there, and a SD card, and you can use like a device setup, a mount list, and then it will act like a external drive basically, and then you power up with a USB power. But I made a special disk for this, so I can just quickly boot it up from the boot block, and then it can switch over, and then it can actually start like an Amiga Workbench 1.3 on an Amiga 500. So that's a really cool device. That's something I bought, of course, in the recent years, like 2-3 years ago. And then there's also some PC parts that I collected in the 90s. Pieces of trash that people throw. Yeah, I got a phone call, so I have to cut. But anyway, I found this in the trash. So this is PCMCA card for a PC. But I've managed to plug it into Amiga 1200 and actually get it working. So I had like FTP and some serial, no, not serial of course, but HTTP. I even tried some websites. This one I recently found in a thrift store, so I don't know if it's working, but it's probably. I have a PC I can test it with, but it would be cool to plug it into an Amiga 1200 and then I could get like wired. So that's one of these things that you have boxes, you have a lot of stuff that you someday eventually will reach. And yeah, this is just some compact flash cards for a secret project I'm working on. It has to do with Amiga and yeah, a bunch of stuff. So we'll put that into focus. Okay, let's yeah, so these are these boxes I bought in 2014 or something, so these are not from back in the day. But here we have a bunch of authentic cover discs. So there's just these yeah, original cover disc, and I also have some original games that I don't have the box for or anything else. So it's Conflict Korea, Amiga 10 Star Pack, Turtles Gods, Gaza D-Day, and what is this, Campaign, and B-17 Flying Fortress. So a bunch of random games. These was not games that I had. These are ones I got in collections throughout the years. Some of these cover discs are actually my original ones that I bought with the magazine. So what do we have here? So yeah, I don't have much of them, but Amiga format, CU Amiga, Amiga Action, Amiga Computing. So it's just nice to have a little collection of you know, random cover discs, just for the nostalgia of it. And here's a bunch of empty discs. I turn them around, and then there's just a random games disc. Many of these is not from my collection. These are either a collection I got for free or yeah, something people just sent me. So just a small selection of random authentic Amiga 500 games, I suppose. And there was more in this box. So what is this? Oh yeah, oh, this is all my productions. So I have yeah, because back in the day in Amiga 500 I used to love to make utility discs, and here's a bunch of these, and these are all my original ones. I managed to preserve them. There's a random demo PC task, and some of, yeah, just random tool discs from other groups, but also my own, parts of my Amos code in there. And again, there's a bunch of Amos related stuff. I have made a video about some of my code. I did make some demos, and then I loved collecting pictures, or even drew pictures myself using Deluxe Paint 2 from 1989 and a couple of years. So I think this is actually all of them. Eventually I did get a hard drive for the Amiga 500, so I have some backups, you know, digital backups of that. And some of my early demos, so Techno FX Volume 1, FX CD Volume 1, FX CD Volume 2, and then, yeah, this is a software me and my friend created. I haven't made a lot of demos. It's like you can count it on one hand, and maybe one intro for Gathering 94 or something like that. So what else do we have? Yeah, just a random floppy disk box again. This is empty floppy disks. So yeah, this is all original. And then I have a bunch of Amiga Workbench. Some of it is my own, some is just copies, obviously. Yeah, and there are all kinds of original software. Not a Workbench, a couple of discs I made just 2 years ago. Some membership club discs from Norwegian, Red Sector Demo Maker. Yeah, just a collection of more recent tools that I use to do certain things. So yeah, I'm lucky that I could manage to preserve some of my discs, even if I gave it all away in 98. Again, just empty discs, and of course a nice authentic box. Yeah, demo note games. These are just what survived, because I gave it all away to my cousin, and some of these games is really like just copied 10 years ago. This is actually from my original Amiga 500 or 1200, but I lost like 99.9% of these, and there was just some, yeah, random discs and productions from local people that they didn't create it, with just software that they had in their collection. I don't think I have anything that was programmed locally. Oh yeah, there's even more of these. And what do we have here? So dock discs. Yeah, this will be hints for games, cheat codes, but also documentation, manuals for software and things like that. And then we have, yeah, Demonoid sample and mods. So this will be all the music I made in Sound Tracker, Pro Tracker. But I also love collecting samples and even make my own samples. So these are a bunch of mix of, yeah, Sound Tracker sounds like Sound Disk, ST1 and all this, and I just made my own categories like drums, bass, synth, other instruments, effects and so on. And it's like my favorite samples I found from other modules, or just ripped some samples. So they're really nice to have. It's my original music library, or I managed to preserve all my music and also all my sounds, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, so here we have corruption. So this is the Amiga box games. Unfortunately I don't have anything else. There's just the guide, and also when I'll bring some light, and also just the original receipt, 3rd of May in 1990. I bought this on some vacation in Denmark. This is a free music tape for Sega Amiga that followed one of the magazines, actually Amiga format, sorry. Yeah, I have recorded that and preserved it on my website. Yeah, I hope I can like complete this packaging. At least the box is original. That's the one I bought back in the day, so we can glare at that in the zoomed out camera. Yeah, and these are just random collections I collected, either given to me or, yeah, some kind of collage of bought items in a thrift store or online or something. So that's Grand Monster Slam, and yeah, seconds out. I never heard about it. Hope I can find a new cover someday. And Amigas with yeah, with the floppy disk. So that should be all working. I have only 3 of these, I think. So I guess we will put them there. And yeah, this is TNT pack for the Amiga. So we have Cybots, Tubin, APB, Dragon Spirit and hard driving. And that's all I have. 3 games, or 2? Yeah, 3 games. Or something. Yeah, 3 games. Otherwise, it's an authentic box. So they look nice in the shelf. I don't really plan to collect a bunch of these, but these are just random, very cheap, sometimes for free items I got like 20 plus years ago. And then we have NASCAR Challenge. This is not my original game. And I have the manual, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So at least it's a nice box. You can just pretend the game is in it. It looks nice on the shelf, of course. And yeah, Flight of the Intruder. This is also not my box. So I have a card and a great manual. I'm sure you can fly a plane after reading this. And just a card. Yeah. So yeah, this is mostly just shelfware, like true shelfware. You can just put it on the shelf and show it. So maybe we can put that in there. And yeah, Syndicate. I think this is my original balked game, because I did remember I was really playing a lot of Syndicate, and I hope it's complete. So Syndicate manual and the guide. Yeah, so I think that's pretty much complete. That's really great. So this, I think this truly was one of the games I bought. I don't remember, gave it all away, and I don't really know where this box came from. There's no clues that I can see that I remember, but I think actually I would have bought Syndicate. It's getting filled up around here, and you know what, the box is gone, it's empty. Yeah, but that was just a random box, and yeah, we will just exit this episode, and I will see you in the next one.